Hi, my name is Emily Madill. I'm here with what I call my weekly happiness video where I read aloud my weekly featured article. This week's article is one that I wrote a couple of years ago, but it still feels like it fits today. It's called How to Sustain a Lasting Connection with Your Inner Knowing. We all have an inner spirit because we are spiritual beings. There is more going on beyond our inner dialogue and constant stream of rambling thoughts. You are more, I am more, our moreness lives within us. It's what connects us all. When we disconnect from our inner knowing, we disconnect from one another. This disconnect can be felt on a global scale. We find our way back to each other when we find our way back home to our truest self. Our inner spirit is our truest self. You'll know when you're connected to your inner spirit by how you feel. When we are connected to our inner knowing, we can't help but feel good. While we are connected, we quiet the noise from our outer world and our inner ramblings. The overall feeling we are left with is a combination of sweet relief, gratitude, and a sense that all is well. While we are connected, we feel held by love. When we are disconnected from our inner knowing, we may feel anxious or overwhelmed. Our minds might feel busy with conflicting thoughts, stories, and judgments. We may feel lonely or unsettled. We might find we are constantly searching for external ways to feel good. We don't experience inner peace when we are disconnected from our inner knowing. If we know how good it feels to be connected to our inner knowing, why does it sometimes feel so hard to sustain this connection? If we understand that judgment and fear aren't present within the state of connection and love, why would we ever disconnect in the first place? The simple truth is many of us are operating on autopilot. Perhaps we haven't learned, or we have somehow forgotten about the magic that lives within us. It can be easy to get lost amidst the noise of life. We all can forget relief is available to us at any time. The term inner peace doesn't allude to something that exists in our external world. Inner peace is a state of being. It's a place we access within our being. The way to experience a sense of inner peace is to journey inward and strengthen the pathway to our inner truth. It sounds complicated and abstract, but it's actually simpler than so many of us make it out to be. As a society, we are programmed to look outside of ourselves for answers. We are used to finding comfort by reaching out to our external world. We look outside of ourselves for evidence that all is well. But when we venture inward more often, we can experience firsthand the sensation that all is indeed okay. When we experience the feeling of connection and relief, we help spread that same feeling out to others around us. The momentum can be felt globally. Sustaining a lasting connection with our inner knowing becomes simpler when we turn it into a regular, daily practice. Each day we wake up alive in this world, we can make the decision and commitment to want to feel good. Here are 3 practices I regularly use to tune in and make my connection with my inner knowing a top priority. Number 1, patience is a virtue. We overcomplicate life by insisting on quick fixes and instant results. The expression, patience is a virtue, is a popular expression for a reason. The only way to understand our inner world is to be patient with ourselves while we are learning. Here's the thing. We are all the same in our shared humanity, and we are all unique in how we access our humanity. For example, when I'm feeling overwhelmed or anxious, I don't necessarily make the correlation in the moment that I'm disconnected from my inner knowing. However, because I've committed to a lifelong practice of wanting to feel connected and good, I know when I'm feeling overwhelmed or anxious, I need to access my breath. This is something I've learned over time with a lot of practice and discomfort. Deep intentional breathing works well for me to reset and begin feeling better in certain circumstances. Using intentional breathing helps me feel connected, but it might not be the best path inward to you. You might find that music, dance, prayer, getting outside in fresh air, having a bubble bath, or reciting a weird and wonderful mantra is what helps you reconnect to your inner spirit. There is no way for anyone else to know what is going to work best for you except for you. Our particular ways of journeying inward will change depending on the circumstance and setback. We all need a giant toolbox filled with unique practices that help us connect to our inner spirit. The first and best step is to commit to wanting to feel good in your life. The next important and best step is to acknowledge that life is a journey and adventure. On this life adventure, insisting on quick fixes will only ever set you back. Instead, it's more empowering to settle into the notion that your desire to feel good is more important than your discomfort you may feel while you're learning what works best for you. Appoint yourself in charge of your happiness and be patient with yourself on your daily pursuit of contentment. Number 2, compassion paves the path. Compassion is an underestimated superpower. When we connect to our inner truth often enough, we begin to feel protective of our inner spirit. It's true that nobody can hurt us without us giving them permission to hurt us. But how do we arm ourselves against the hurt? The quick and common way to arm ourselves is retaliation. If someone judges us or offends us or misunderstands who we truly are, it can hurt. From our place of hurt, we may hurt others back. This is how the vicious cycle of hurt and disconnection perpetuates. It perpetuates on a global scale with dire consequences. If we are hurting others, we are disconnected from ourselves. If we want to stop the cycle of disconnect and hurt, we must understand that it always starts with us. The best way to arm ourselves is to wrap our arms around ourselves. Compassion is key. When we don't feel good about ourselves or others, it's our cue to offer ourselves more compassion and self-love. Compassion paves the path to connect with your inner spirit. Compassion opens a door to the sacred space where all is well. Have faith in your merit as a human being. Allow it to sink in that we all are enough. You are enough. I am enough. Everyone who is alive right now is enough. And finally, number 3, quiet space is the answer. Despite our patience and compassion, sometimes it still feels challenging to sustain a lasting connection with our inner spirit. This challenge is our sign we need to slow our roll, no matter what environment we are in. We don't just wish ourselves into having a sense of inner peace and connectedness. Sustaining a connection with our inner knowing is a daily, moment-to-moment practice. If life feels busy, loud, offensive, or overwhelming, that's your cue to slow down and find your version of quiet. Quiet space doesn't always look like the stereotypical scene filled with serenity and yoga poses. Quiet space might mean turning the radio off while you're driving so you have less external noise coming at you. Quiet space might mean turning off your phone and taking a break from technology. Seriously, this is so important. Quiet space might mean turning on music and moving your body. You might quiet your mind by connecting to your movement. This is a personalized practice, and it's a practice that requires a willing participant. As participants, it's best if we can laugh at ourselves often and not take it all too seriously. It's also helpful when we give ourselves permission to be creative and silly in our methods for feeling good. Are you willing to create a long-lasting connection with your inner knowing? What does your quiet space look like, and how do you feel when you're in it? So that is our article this week, How to Sustain a Lasting Connection with Your Inner Knowing. And again, it's one that I wrote back in 2018. It's up on my website, emilymadill.com, and it's also up on Thrive Global. I'm honored to be one of Thrive Global's editors at large, so I do share all of my writing up on Thrive Global as well as on my website. And every Thursday morning, I send out a happiness note, and in it, I offer some simple tips and strategies along with this video. And I will include the link to both the article and the sign up to the free notes if you're interested in having a look at those. So I just want to thank you for tuning in. I hope that something here is helpful to you this week, and I look forward to connecting again soon. Thank you.